My name is Snell Johnson with Snell Johnson Art and Design, and the affiliated company is Art Enterprises International. We're a very special group of companies. We have put a lot of time and effort, many years, of bringing the business world into the art world. By doing that, we have been able to accomplish something that we don't believe anybody else in this country at least, and probably other countries, has been able to put together. We produce fine art bronze sculptures in the time frame and for a dollar amount that is comparable to what they can be done in what I call composite materials or fiberglass and imitation materials. We do this custom, and when I mention the word custom, we work with you. We design something specifically for you, for your needs, and it's only one of a kind. It's used just for you. We work for people in developments that are doing fine housing projects. We work with large resorts and casinos. We do a lot of work with Native American societies. We have been able to, in just the last few months, create the second largest sculpture in the world, which is the present MGM Grand Lion that's at the MGM Grand Hotel in Las Vegas. This took us 7.5 months to complete. We competed in pricing on this project with fiberglass. When we completed this project, we had attained something that nobody in this world has attained. We put 1,600 pieces of art together in 7.5 months as a finished project, and the only other bronze larger than that in the world took 15 years to build. In order for you as an audience to understand and gain the enthusiasm that we had for this project, you have to be able to see and associate with and understand a little bit of what it took us to produce this particular sculpture. Since it had never been done before, everything that we did in here was a change. We had to change our entire industry because the giant size of this piece alone caused us some tremendous problems that had never been addressed before in our industry. As a result of that, we're now going to take you step by step and begin with the initial box that we built. And this box is 8 foot by 8 foot. It weighed about 23,000 pounds in steel. We built it so that we could take all of this 9 semi-truckloads of foam, glue them together, stick them up to that box. In order to glue them together, we had to come up with a new material that would hold them in the hot sun of the summer in Phoenix, because it was 115 or 20 degrees. We ended up doing a lot of this at night and working 16 hours a day in order to make this happen. As you see, this foam has to be cut, then glued into squares and pieces. Then it will be hoisted up the side of the lion to try to look like this little small model that I've made here, and it's out of fiberglass. That's what our end result needs to look like. As we put these pieces up and glued them onto the side, we took a air-powered plane and started sculpting and carving the piece in proportion to the little small lion. As you can see the steps here now, we've jumped over a lot and moved a lot more rapid than, of course, the project did, but it took us 5 weeks to carve this giant lion 45 feet tall with 12 men working 16-hour shifts at night. Some of the processes that we had, as you notice, are some of these cranes that are 45 to 60 feet tall, and we worked up on the side of that lion and seemed like we were taking forever, but it really went very, very quickly. And then we'd have to run across the field and look back at it and try to see where we had it wrong. Now we have already finished the carving, and you'll see the white lion. We have sprayed a special material on the top of that lion to preserve it from the sun and the rain, the storm, while we finish the project. Once we had achieved this level, the next step for us is to take a mold that was a reverse mold and create the model that we need to draw from in order to create all of the small pieces to make this lion in bronze. I sometimes think that this beautiful white model was even more beautiful than the final bronze. It was awful hard for us to make this next step. As you see, we have marked up the head of the lion, and we're taking pieces of aluminum film and damming up various areas of the lion. We then put reinforcement in that, and you can see us spraying foam on the face of the lion to the thickness of about 8 inches. Once we have achieved that all over the entire body of the lion, then we have to pull each of these sections off. As you will see here, One of the big sections we have rope in, and we're lifting it with the lift off the face of the lion. As you can see, his eyes are behind there. Then when we bring these molds down and lay them out, we then refinish the inside of them to make sure we don't have any imperfections. Then we lay fiberglass on the inside of those to the thickness that we want the bronze to be, which is approximately 3/8 inches. We take these pieces of fiberglass and then we take them to our foundry and create another mold that is made out of sand, and it's compacted and should reproduce the front face of each piece of that lion exactly like it was in fiberglass, but in metal. As you see, these molds are put together now. There's little tubes there that we pour the bronze down into. We pour it at 4 holes at once, and it runs through and down to the inside where that fiberglass used to be. Then when we pull the molds off, you'll see here we have a piece of very hot bronze. And now I'm holding it up to show the numbering systems that we have on the back. And all of these pieces that you see here have to be welded together in order to make this lion. The first set that you're looking at is one of the legs of the lion. We are welding all of these pieces together. 1,660 pieces is what we ended up with. And the legs alone, I think, weighed somewhere in the area of 4,500 pounds a piece, just up there to the top of the leg as you see it. Now look at the inside. It looks almost like a bunch of postage stamps all over the inside. And we had to then take these pieces, and they're very, very heavy and very, very difficult to maneuver, and put them into place, get them to fit. And obviously, when you do this many pieces and weld them together, there are pieces that do not fit exactly the way you'd like to have them done. When we got up this high, you're looking at the top of the neck of the lion. We put reinforcement there, then we cut the bottom half of the lion apart so we could ship those pieces to Las Vegas while we built the head still in Phoenix. That's the first piece going to Las Vegas. There were 22 panels that size that went to make up the final piece up in Las Vegas and be assembled there. If we had not assembled it in Phoenix first, it would have been a very difficult project. You now see the right side from the neck back to the hip coming off. It still has not been polished out. We laid those down on the ground and then polished them out to a high finish before we took them to Las Vegas. This is a final polish up in Las Vegas, polishing out one of the feet, actually both of the back feet. And now you can see for the first time our armature that we built on top of a 25-foot high concrete pedestal. That armature is out of steel, and we had to attach the lion in 80 different places from the steel to the bronze. And we had to figure out ways of doing that without making the steel ever touch the bronze, because the ionization makes them deteriorate and rot like the Statue of Liberty did. You're now lifting the hip of the lion, the right hip, and it's going up into place. You can see me here directing, trying to put this piece together so it fits. And believe me, we had some time of prying and lifting and hammering and all of the things that we normally go through. People thought, boy, this thing just does not fit, but it's something that we do all the time, and we have made a science of it. We had the traffic of Las Vegas always around us. They were building a giant fountain down below us, which made this whole process even more difficult. Now we switched back down to Phoenix, and we're working on the head and neck of the lion here while the assembly is going on in Las Vegas. Now you'll see the two panels are coming together, and there's still a big gap in the nose. So we have to find ways to cinch those over, tighten those down, and then tack them in place with the welders. And as we weld the pieces, we have to bring the balance of the piece always together, always looking back at the big white lion and making sure that everything that we're doing is fitting and looking like that particular piece. Now we're hooking up a crane at the present time because we're going to lift the head off from the neck. And this is kind of an exciting procedure, because as near as we can figure, this weighs about 25,000 pounds. Now it's just going to pop right here. There, it's popped, everybody's running. And that's as heavy as that crane could lift, and we just barely pulled it off, put it over on the side to set it down so we could cut the pieces of the neck up and ship those to Las Vegas while we were finishing up with the head. The kind of time schedule that we were on with the MGM was just absolutely unbelievable. And it made us push some of these things a whole lot faster than we would have liked to have done, but in retrospect it worked out fine. We were able to finish it. Here we just pulled the face of the lion and pulled it off. We used a plasma cutter and cut the entire face loose, then laid it down on the back, and then we put about 10 or 12 people on polishing. Now we're up in Las Vegas, and it's Super Bowl Sunday, and here we are up here trying to put a face on a lion. And we had an exciting time. This was a wonderful, wonderful time for a crew that was very tired, but felt a tremendous sense of accomplishment, because we're now lifting the face onto this lion. We've done something that absolutely nobody in the world has ever done before. And it may be a long time before anybody else in the world ever does this. We'll probably be the next ones to do something spectacular. Look at this lion now from the side. See that face and watch the man climb up into there. I mean, that is so gigantic. With all the screens on behind it, I mean, it's just an overwhelming process. Here goes the face, and we had a lot of people around the hotel watching this go into place. Now just watch how close this fits. This is in no other, there's no other terms to put it other than it's a miracle. We put it up there, it slipped right up to the other piece. Now watch it being cinched down here. One side, and then we go over and we cinch down the other side, and then we gradually just weld them inch by inch from one side all the way around to the other one. It takes a lot of time, but there that lion is. He's the MGM Grand Lion, finally in the one piece, in the piece of art the way we saw it in the little 3-footer when we first started out, before all of those procedures. And now you see him up there with the fountain running in back of him, with all of the screens, with all of the beautiful concrete around the front that wasn't there while we were doing our construction. And across, looking at it from across the boulevard now, this is a project that probably emotionally we will never top in our company, and probably I will never top it as a person. I hope I do. I hope that someday soon that I'm able to do the largest bronze sculpture that's ever done in the world, and that will be our next project. We did this with just polished bronze, and polished bronze actually looks almost more like gold than gold does. We polished it out with large buffers. Then after we did that, we used a cleaning solution on it, and then we put 6 coats of acrylic lacquer finish over the top of it. That's a special finish just for bronzes, and this will keep it this color so that they can always have their beautiful bronze lion without having all of the problems that if you covered it with gold. Ladies and gentlemen, it's really been a pleasure to show you how we produce something like the MGM Bronze Lion. I want you to understand now a little bit about our company and what we try to accomplish and some of the other services and the ways that we are different. Because we do things custom and because we create new things right from scratch. I mean, we meet with you, we get your ideas, we get the things that you're trying to show, whether you're trying to show the background of a tribe or whether you're trying to show the particular theme that you have developed in a resort, or whether you're trying to accomplish something that will draw people into a development so that you can show them the difference in what product you're trying to put on the market than someone else. All of these things are part of what we specialize in. And another service along that same line is that we do design work. We'll actually design the entire entrance for a development. We'll design the exteriors of your resort or the interiors. We do this design work and we do it with beautiful color renderings so that you can understand and see how this product's going to look in front of your location or involved in your community long before we ever take the serious steps of actually doing the sculpture and creating the fine art. This is part of this whole process that is just wonderful to me. I am able to sit here with you, create something, do a design, and then I'm able to come back to this beautiful studio we have here in North Phoenix, and I'm able to spend hours of actually taking that dream that is your dream and my dream, and then create the fine art, do the sculpture, create this beautiful piece, and put everything in my heart and soul into that work. And I have the most unbelievable occupation. I am able to meet with people, to talk to people, and to help structure, and then I'm able to create fine art. And I feel many times like I've died and gone to heaven. It's the most wonderful life that any man could possibly have. Thank you.